First thing I did after landing in this monster taming world was let a xenomorph facehugger latch onto me and create a whole new stronger species. Because in this world where everyone tames beasts, I'm the only one who knows how busted xenomorphs really are. Insane breeding speed, crazy growth rate, and they can even absorb monster genes to evolve into stronger forms. Right now, in the teacher's office, my homeroom teacher is staring at me confused. Kid, did those clickbait accounts online fry your brain? Yeah, bugs can lift way more than their own weight, but once they get too big, they just collapse under their own mass. You seriously want to pick that facehugger thing? I've made up my mind. Teacher, I think the facehugger is the best monster for me. He sees I won't back down, so he just sighs and hands me a few beast cards. These are your starter resources. Take them. In a week, the school will run a placement exam. Before then, if you regret this bug thing, you can still change. I nod slightly. Take the cards from Zhang Yu, thank him, and walk out. Half an hour later, I'm back in my assigned dorm. Time to actually raise this beast. I pull out the domain card Zhang Yu gave me. A faint light flashes, and I appear on a wide grassland. This is the base, untouched version of my beast domain. Then a system voice suddenly pops up. Host, do you want to change the environment of your starter space? Different monsters need different habitats, so when you first enter, every freshman gets one chance to reshape their domain. No need, I shut it down. After all, xenomorphs can live in literally any hellhole. They don't care. Extracting host monster data. Start incubation? System, can you use my own body as a template to generate food? Sure, I could let a facehugger ride a cow, or a sheep or whatever, but the real power of a facehugger is gene assimilation, and human genes are basically the perfect template. Only thing is, nobody in this world's ever tried that before. I toss that at the system and it goes dead silent, only answering 2.5 minutes later. Analyzing host body, creating monster feed, a beam of light flashes, and a human body identical to mine. Drops from the sky, analyzing host memories. Incubate facehugger. As your monster? Yes, I don't even hesitate. When the system finishes, a creature that shouldn't exist in this world shows up right in front of me, the newly awakened facehugger. Doesn't rush my clone body. It just curls up in the grass, like it's waiting for my command. So I give my first parasitize order. In a blur, the facehugger launches straight at the food. The reason I'm so obsessed with facehuggers is their hatch process. Not only is it fast, but once they hit adult form, xenomorphs lay eggs on their own, producing more facehuggers endlessly. I look around, eyeing the lush green field. Give it a little while, and this place will be crawling with a xenomorph army. When the chest burster finally rips out of the clone, the smell of blood fills the air. I focus on the little xenomorph that pops out. Unlike the facehugger, which only parasitizes, the chest burster forms defense, and combat power are both on a whole other level. As long as it gets enough food, it can hit adult stage in just a few hours. Alright then, feeding time. I use my resource cards and spawn herd after herd of massive bison. With just a look from me, the chest burster can't hold back anymore and charges into the herd. At first, the cattle don't even register this little thing as a threat until it lands on one's back and melts through its neck with acid. Only then does the whole herd realize they're screwed and bolts in a panic. But there's no way they outrun a xenomorph. As it keeps eating, its body grows at a speed you can literally see. In under an hour, it shoots up to around 6 feet tall. Since it's the only xenomorph in this space, the male traits in its body slowly fade out. And in the middle of feeding, it starts to change into a xenomorph queen. Even I'm stunned by that evolution. I thought I'd have to keep farming, hatching facehuggers non-stop to build an army. But it turns out they can just flip their own gender. I reach out and gently pat the queen's head. Her skin's smoother than I expected, like a girl's thigh in leather pants. Huh, why does it feel like my xenomorph queen is kind of pretty? Just as I'm enjoying the moment, my stomach starts growling. So I exit the beast domain to grab some food. Half an hour later, I'm at the school cafeteria. Right as I'm about to walk in, a deep voice calls out behind me. You're Mark, right? And you are? I'm Chen Fan, freshman, ranked 11th on entrance exams. You were 7th in the whole city, right? Since we ran into each other here, want to see who's stronger? I really did not expect to get challenged on day 1, but I've got no reason to turn that down. A xenomorph's biggest edge is parasitizing and copying other creatures' genes. If this guy's that confident, his beast has to hit pretty hard. And honestly, I want to see how my queen stacks up in a real fight in this world. So I whip out my beast domain card without hesitation, and we enter a linked arena. In a flash, the surroundings shift to open countryside. Right after that, a roar shakes the whole space. A brown triceratops comes charging straight at us. Chen Fan folds his arms and scoffs. So what's your monster? I don't answer him. I look into my beast domain instead, and realize the queen is gone. After a closer look, I spot it. A deep pit dug into the ground at some point, and it clicks instantly. Xenomorphs work like a hive mind. Once the queen has enough food, she starts laying eggs asexually, deep underground, in dark, closed tunnels. I hadn't thought about that earlier. Or built her a proper nest, so she just dug a cave herself. Judging from the size of that entrance, I suddenly get a really bad feeling. Chen Fan, you can still back out now. He just snorts. His beast is an ancient type triceratops, with a skull and frill, built for ramming and smashing. But the next second, the whole ground starts shaking. A huge black mass launches out of the pit. Chen Fan looks up on instinct, and it feels like this thing could block out the sky. His triceratops is shaking so hard, it literally pisses itself. Even I'm stunned for a second. When I left the domain earlier, my queen was only like 6 feet tall. Now she's 4 to 5 meters easy. and her whole body shape's changed. Before Chen Fan can even see her clearly, the queen is already in front of the Triceratops and drives her tail straight through its neck. I hesitate for a moment, but in the end I don't let her attack Chen Fan. He and I don't have any real beef. The next second, the queen just turns and bolts back into the cave. The whole thing doesn't even last 30 seconds. In front of a xenomorph, a creature that doesn't play fair at all, even some ancient megabeast, is nothing. Chen Fan is completely frozen by what he just saw. What the hell was that black thing? Mark's monster. Why does it feel like nothing that ever existed on Blue Star? Could it be one of those 1 in a million phantom beasts? The shock is too much, and he completely loses his will to fight. He collapses to the ground, and the battle arena starts to dissolve. We're both kicked back to reality. Whoa, what just happened? Chen Fan actually lost? Isn't Mark's monster just a facehugger? How did he do that? The crowd around us is buzzing with confusion. I ignore them. In my head, this is only the beginning. Once the xenomorph swarm gets big enough, there'll be things like the Queen's mother, ultimate life forms. Right then, my homeroom teacher shows up and drags me back to the office. Mark, what the hell happened out there? I sigh and tell him the whole story. I see. All right, forget that. Show me your monster. Zhang Yu changes the subject. He never meant to punish me. He brought me here because he's dying to know what I raised that scared Chen Fan that badly. Right then, 2 men suddenly barge in. Chen Fan's homeroom teacher, Li Guosheng, and the PE teacher Zhang Panpan. Zhang Yu, your student killed Chen Fan's monster and humiliated my student in front of everyone. Don't you think that's too much? Veins bulging on Li Guosheng's neck. But Zhang Yu doesn't back down at all. Freshmen are hot-blooded by nature. Them blowing off some steam isn't exactly shocking. So, is teacher Zhang Panpan here to yell at me too?